Hello everyone, it's George Huffman Jr. and welcome to Huffman's House of Horrors. And today I'm going to do my first part of the 6-part series, reading this. Arkham Files Joker Origin. It's like a creepypasta of some sort, but it's more of like a theory pasta. There's 3 different kinds of creepypastas. There's the creepypasta that's just about where you're an internet or something and like Cartoon Network, and you get like a tape or a DVD in the archives that you somehow snuck into, take it home, pop it into your VHS or DVD player, and play the episode in which Shaggy and Scooby go utterly nuts and kill Fred, Daphne, and Velma in horrific ways before then saying a very disturbing and demonic message before killing themselves and causing you to go nuts and do on a murder spree in the name of everything unholy. I'm a Christian, so I don't want to approve. There's also the troll pasta, which is goes out all for comedy. I mean, yes, there's like you dang nuts and sack of nuts and bolts, or just talk about like the privates or the butt or something. Yeah, those are too vulgar for me. And there's of course a theory pasta, which is like, oh, all the characters are dead thing, or like the Scooby Doo where the costumes of the monsters are like are cursed by some random guy, and Scooby and his family are cursed. Or this one. So let's begin. The Clown Prince of Crime. The Joker is the most recognizable of any of Batman's villains. During the course of the Arkham game series, we see the Joker as an ultimate threat to any individual. Many speculations exist on the Joker's original identity. Before he was the madman we know, he was the Red Hood, a criminal who held a title in Gotham. But what of his previous life? Who was he before it all began? For this, we shall undergo a theory examination of the Joker's history before he became the Clown Prince of Crime. The Joker began with the codename John. Okay, so already it's gotten off to a good start. No, oh no blood, no guts, no like demonic eyes, no like murders yet. And let's continue. Psychiatry, psychological evaluations, entry 275 of Dr. Joker's psychological profile by Dr. Hugo Strange. Joker, unrepellent homicidal maniac, albeit without a precise psychological diagnosis. Surprisingly strong hand-to-hand combatant. His past is unknown. Conflicting reports state he was a failed comedian, a petty thief, and a broken family man. Employs various deadly weapons, often based on party gag items. Frequently uses toxin that stretches victims' face into a Joker-like grin and causes death. Unbelievable escape artist and stronger endurance than a normal human being. His sense of humor can be credited to what he perceives to be wrong with the world around him, as he is often seen laughing at the pointlessly terrible and truly wrong. This gives an indication of his true feelings on the matter, as his laughter is seen as hollow at times. The Joker only finds humor in what is wrong with humanity and points it out, highlighting it before attempting to either bind the chaos around it or something destroy it himself, often both in the process. Flawless actor and slash impersonator, genius chemist and skilled in strategy, takes absolutely no value of money, power, or anyone besides Batman, and has no sense of self-preservation, making him impossible to intimidate, interrogate, bargain with, or persuade. Incredible tolerance for physical pain, making fights with him unusually long. Okay, so already it's still good. And, yeah. Entry 1 of Joker's psychological profile by Batman. I was prepared for muggers, killers, thieves, criminals, increasing their extreme in their methods and personality, but I never imagined someone like the Joker. There is no information on him in any criminal database. As far as records go, it's almost as if he stepped out of thin air. He appears to be a highly resourceful psychopath with sadistic intelligence, who delights in causing chaos, destruction, and human suffering. Skilled with explosives, firearms, and blades, he displays personal traits consistent with criminal insanity, though his mental stability did not hinder his ability to infiltrate and take over a black mass criminal organization. His capacity for wanton destruction makes him a threat to the city. He must be stopped. So we get both sides of the story, one by Professor Hugo Strange and one by Batman. So I'm going to stop putting my hand over the camera for this part. Possible origin theory. As shown by multiple reports, the Joker is an individual with unique traits and disorders that make up his personality. Dr. Hugo Strange recounts the Joker's origins being variable, but maybe they share the same room together. An explanation of the theory begins here. Finally, we get into the theory, man. The Joker, aka John, was a family man who worked at a chemical plant for a living. John has lived a life of modesty, a nice job, possible marriage with an unknown female individual. He might have been expecting a child. John must have had dreams of being a famous comedian. On a chance, he decided to quit his job as a chemical plant worker and take a career in comedy. This, however, led to a failure as a comedian and in turn made hardships for the family, with little, if not no income. John decided to turn to crime and worked with other criminals, taking the alias of a villain known as the Red Hood. This career led to many thefts, robberies, and the like. However, speculation follows that John's wife caught wind of his actions and decided to leave him. With his lover and mom of his child gone, John attempted to back out of the crime to regain an honest living, but was forced to continue with his criminal persona. Upon learning his former employment at the chemical plant, the group of lawbreakers that Red Hood was working with decided to use him to enter the plant and steal supplies to sell on the black market. This, however, would lead to the fateful night that John would encounter Batman, and led to his chemical accident that would change him forever. After his accident, John would suffer mental trauma from his physical features and being altered to a heavy degree. It is possible that the wife and child this time were killed by an accident, maybe a house fire. With the knowledge of his wife and child's death and his disfigurement, the subject entered a state of madness that began the creation of the Joker. With the world as his view tormentor, the Joker decided to make sure that he would make everyone suffer for his tragedies. So basically, he's doing it for his own sick sense of justice. Kinda works. And of course, he has some henchmen. Now we come to the evidence of the theory. Evidence giving credence to this theory is his particular relationship with former Arkham staff member Dr. Harleen Quinzel, also known as Harley Quinn, his partner in crime. The Joker treats her like crap due to Harley being a constant reminder of his now deceased wife. Of course, with this information, one could also speculate that he keeps Harley around due to the fact that he sees her as a remnant of his dead wife, physically and mentally abuses her due to pent-up anger for not being able to reconcile with the dead. Joker's connection to his famed Joker toxin could also stem from his association with the chemical plant he previously worked for. It could be those very chemicals he uses in order to extract revenge on all he views guilty. His comedic attire and plots are also associated with his failed comedian gig, as he views the world as a sick joke type of way. In conclusion, the Joker is a byproduct of a man who's undergone extreme depression and grief with all the tragic events that have occurred in his life, the extent of which has fully impacted him into his creation is unknown. However, uncovering his forgotten name could be a key in possible rehabilitation. Here lies the broken shell of a man who has been the butt of a joke by the world, and now a psychotic maniac who seeks to give the world its just desserts. Well, guys, that was the story. Now comes time to my review. Personally, I really like it. There is no there's a lot of blood and gore everywhere, or is really demonic. Though it's really sad he lost his wife and child in a house fire or something. Yeah, how did it even happen? And, yeah. And I'll see you in the next episode of Huffman's House of Horrors. And, bye.